My grandfather went to war and back to get off Pepacao plantations. A bullet shattered his cheek and tore out his back, crawled to base until cuticles cracked, sent to military hospital to recover. In Germany, befriended an enemy who became a bedside neighbor and a lifelong correspondent, just the kind of man he was. But not a response from home. His lover kept unopened letters stashed away. She didn't want him to leave, so instead of grief, she leaves the letters sealed in a corner, like her heart tucked in a chest. Edmund Cameron loved to learn. But on Pepacao plantations, goals don't stretch past the next harvest. Dreams are the hardest because Icarus views of plantation stores and fields causes the wax to wake. Before morning light sneaks through window panes. Morning the morning again. Edmund was offered an education in town, off the plantation, but his father rejected the gesture. Couldn't let one of his sons run off and learn. Fields didn't return, teenage muscles burned, and sugarcane learns to fight back with every machete axe, slashing across where paper cuts could be. When Pearl Harbor was attacked, recruiters came to camp, and Edmund was one of the few who could sign more than just an X. On a German pasture, just like any other, my grandfather learned that scouts and snipers don't mix, and he was left for dead. Only him and God knew different. There is no confessional quite like quiet foxholes. Scenic fields feel different, crawling on your belly, afraid of yelling in pain or for help. My grandpa's hardest footsteps are marked with bloody palm prints and fingernails impaled, and every next step dug in the soul. But there was a woman at home, and sometimes that's enough. Purple-hearted and told he had made my father gave him two brothers. See, my father was born plantation poor, where you needed to hustle for newspapers if you wanted to teach yourself to read, where your daily chores caused you to bleed, where you could have everything you could want and not enough of what you need. This is where my family tree sprouted its seeds. My grandfather killed grandfathers to see farther than the plantation. And I'm sure in his nightly conversations with God, he promised them to put his future generations in similar situations, determined to provide his offspring the opportunity through education. Ronald, my father, went further than island dreams, a local boy pursuing goals over an ocean, hoping to open doors locked to his dad. Being the first Cameron etched on a UH Kilo diploma was not enough. So Grandpa said, what's next? And he was deployed to UH Manoa. And after the flashes, decorative sashes, Edmund stashes had the degree to be hung and displayed and said, what's next? So in Washington, he became a doctor of education and communication, found his other half and came back home and made a family. And kicking and screaming, I followed my parents' footsteps, but in my own path. Part special needs, part higher education, part classroom, part administration, with no union for polar mentors. So I fly without a net, earn student respect, part for what I'm teaching, part for making employment, and entirely because I give it back. And now I'm proud of what I do. I help teens through hard times, through raw rhymes and free race. But if you were to tell the teenager me that I would grow to be a teacher, the class clown in me would have thrown something at me. The jock in me would have given you a wedgie, and the poet in me would have said nothing. Because at 17, I did not see a future in my feelings, did not believe that poetry could provide like a jump shot. But in basketball, you don't need one bad ball to end it all. But in poetry, bad balls make for more poetry. So I've got a litany of potential literature. But what I've really learned, doing what you love is more important than doing what you're told. So if you're gonna break molds and rules, you need the tools to build a brighter tomorrow. So I use poetry to reach a generation with failed education but a passion to learn. And when it's their turn, take the bridges we burned and build from the ashes, wish on eyelashes, equality becomes our equation. We leave no child left behind, stuck on plantations.